Tuesday, January 4th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I am meteorologist Matthew East here with you, and the forecast ahead of us is one that's kind of laden with uncertainty and possibilities. Really, the models are really struggling, especially in the day 4 to 10 range. And I'll get into that here as we go through today's edition of the video. First, check out that snow in Las Vegas yesterday. This was pretty cool. One of the many shots of the snow falling there in Las Vegas yesterday. A lot of cold air across the northern tier states. Now it's chilly here across our region. Most of the Carolinas were able to dip down into the 20s this morning. But this is the real deal up here. This is true Arctic air. There are current temperatures in the 20s below zero in parts of northeastern North Dakota and Minnesota. Really nasty stuff. And we're going to get a little piece of that, get dislodged, and try to head our way later this week. A lot of the details, though, again, really convoluted type pattern coming up. This is the upper air chart off of the Zero-Z GFS, valid 1 o'clock this afternoon. And you just look at this overall setup here, and you can see, first of all, some really cold air up in Canada bleeding into the northern tier states, and that is trying to seep southward. Also, you have all this Pacific energy that's going to eject little waves out of it. And getting the specifics of how that is going to unfold, the timing of that, all really big question marks. Let's go out to Friday. There's going to be a very potent upper-level system dive in on Friday. It'll be pretty cold behind that for the weekend. And then this is what the Zero-Z GFS did with the next wave for early next week. Really dampens it out as it approaches the lower Mississippi Valley and the Tennessee Valley. And although it will weaken, I don't know that the GFS on some of its recent runs isn't weakening it a little bit too much. I'll get into that more in a second. Let's kind of take these things one at a time. First of all, today we have a weak cold front pushing through, just some mid and high level clouds, not a big deal, no precipitation here. And a little bit milder today. A lot of Piedmont folks able to make it up at least toward the low 50s this afternoon. All right, tomorrow we begin to watch an area of low pressure, albeit quite weak, develop near the Gulf Coast region. And this is going to be another deal where the moisture is very limited, and most of that moisture is going to stay south of Interstate 20. But with that said, there's enough around that I do think it's worth mentioning the possibility of at least a few snow flurries up into parts of the Carolinas late Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I just don't think that has a chance to be a big deal, though. The moisture is just too limited as it appears right now. All right, let's go out to Thursday. That system departs out to sea. Kind of a quiet Thursday afternoon. And then Friday, that potent upper-level energy dives in from the northwest, and that's the QPF printout, valid 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Friday. And the Raleigh National Weather Service, they did a nice job. They threw out the mention of the event back on January the 19th in 2005. And I went ahead and pulled up the reanalysis chart from that. And there are some similarities. Now, it's not a carbon copy, but there are some similarities. That is a look at the reanalysis for, so that'd be 4 in the afternoon, back on that Wednesday, January 19th. And at that point in time, you did have a very strong upper-level disturbance diving through. Let's look at the GFS valid. Now, this we're looking at a little bit of different geographic area, but again, you're looking for overall features here, and there are some similarities there with how that looks. And I think this is a deal where we could wind up with a little bit of a light dusting in some areas. This was what the result of the January 19th event was. Now, it had huge impacts on traffic areas, especially Raleigh, Durham, and points north and east. And I could fully, I can envision a scenario where something like this transpires, kind of a widespread dusting type of snow in a few spots, maybe a spot getting an inch or so. This type of setup typically leaves the Charlotte area and the foothills largely precip free. But again, in this northeastern corridor of the state, I wouldn't rule out a dusting maybe late Friday or Friday evening. Not going to be a huge deal in terms of any type of accumulations, but just I wouldn't be shocked to see that type of deal occur. But it doesn't look like a huge deal right now. Okay, Saturday. Looks cold. Highs should be in the 30s in a lot of Piedmont spots. Saturday, it appears. Lows this weekend, low 20s, upper teens, depending on how the winds decouple. Now, this was the 0Z run of the GFS. Bringing clouds in, but no precipitation. This is 7 o'clock Sunday evening, so it brings clouds, but no precip in Sunday. The European does bring precipitation in Sunday. So does the Canadian. And so the way I've kind of framed my forecast on air this morning is I have brought in the chance of a little bit of precip late Sunday. If any precipitation can get in here Sunday, it would probably be in the form of some light snow. This is what the GFS then did 24 hours later. This is Monday evening, and this is Tuesday evening. Just a really convoluted setup. The 6Z run, I'm just getting parts of that in. It was not all the way out to this time frame when I cut this video, but it's even slower with the arrival of any precip chances early next week. So again, what I've kind of done with this morning's forecast package here is I brought in the chance of a little bit of light snow to parts of the region, say late Sunday or Sunday night. Any precipitation that then lingers into Monday could be some type of wintry mix, but it's all basically a big crapshoot right now. I have zero confidence in any one model solution at all, and I have very little confidence in any specifics I'm putting out there in my forecast. It's just that type of deal right now, kind of a low confidence deal, and we'll see how that unfolds as we get closer to early next week. A couple other panels off the 0Z GFS. Yeah, it looks cold after the early week system next week. And there's your, let me get that back to the proper scaling here. There we go. And there's your GFS fantasy range storm out there on the 17th. I certainly don't have any type of confidence in those specifics, but I do think this is a cold and occasionally stormy pattern we're in for a good chunk of January. So we'll see what the future holds. A lot of uncertainty. I wish I could nail it down more specifically, but I just don't have a lot of confidence with anything as of yet. So we'll see how the next several days unfold. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great Tuesday, and God bless.